Welcome to the Boss Fire Protection Fire Suppression Orientation. In this series of programs, we will look at your critical fire suppression components and their maintenance to ensure your system is operating at peak efficiency, protecting your workplace. Your housing and regulated release assembly. In this video, we will cover an example of one fire suppression system and the components that make up your housing and regulated release assembly. In each fire suppression system, the control head, bottles, and cartridges are typically stored in a stainless steel housing cabinet. This is where you will find the regulated release assembly. The regulated release assembly is the main component of your fire suppression system. This combination of components is what triggers the fire suppression system to release wet chemical agent in the event of a fire. The regulated release is made up of the following components. The detection line. The detection line starts directly behind the micro switch and runs to the associated hoods connecting to each fusible link in the system. The detection line is set with a tension bar and spring for means of automatic activation for the wet chemical system. There should be a minimum 1/4 inch to maximum 3/8 inch clearance from the hammer to the hammer base. In the event of a fire, your fusible link will melt, triggering the hammer to drop, releasing the chemical agent to extinguish the fire. This is the pull station wire that runs from the pull station to your regulated release. In the event of a fire, if the use of the detection line doesn't trigger release of the chemical agent, the remote pull station would need to be pulled to activate the system. Please note that when pulling the remote pull station handle, the wire can have up to 12 inches of slack. Make sure to pull until the system triggers. This is the gas valve shutoff wire that comes down on the right side of the micro switch into the air plunger. This line is installed with hand-tight tension and set off by the compressed air released by the cartridge. This shuts off all gas under the vent hood when the regulated release is triggered, eliminating a potential source of fuel if there is a fire. The next component is the micro switch. The micro switch ties into the electrical breaker to shut off all electrical supply under the associated vent hoods and fresh air makeup. This small device plays an important role in the system by eliminating any additional fuel to the fire. Once triggered, this device also sets off your fire alarm system, notifying the fire department to respond. Cartridges tie into the regulated release, which is made to puncture the seal of the cartridge upon actuation and fill bottles with compressed air. This sends chemical through the system piping. Cartridges must be changed out or hydro-tested every 12 years by DOT specifications. This should be inspected and maintained by your fire suppression inspection company. The actuator regulates the compressed air that runs to the control head in the event of a fire. Hoses distribute the compressed air from the actuator to the bottles. The compressed air then pressurizes the bottles containing the wet chemical agent. This helps regulate the flow of the wet agent through the system for proper discharge. The hoses should be tested every 12 years or replaced. Fire suppression bottles contain the chemical agent that flows through the wet chemical piping in the event of a fire. It is pushed through the piping by the compressed air that is released by the cartridges through the actuator and hoses. Bottles must be hydrostatic tested every 12 years. You must carry the proper license to service or inspect the fire suppression system. Any alterations can cause accidental system actuation or improper function in the event of a fire. This video is for educational purposes only and presented to help our customers understand their system and how it is designed to operate. For more information, always call your licensed service provider. If you have any questions or would like to get your system inspected, please reach out to Boss Fire Protection at 972-704-1821 or email us at boss@bossfireprotection.com.